In this video, I'm going to be telling you 5 reasons why you have low testosterone and how you can fix it. I'm also going to be recommending a few supplements that you could take that I take myself to help boost your testosterone and help you build a lean muscular physique and have a healthier life in general. Let's get straight into it. Testosterone is a very important part of a man's life because it helps you to not only build a desirable physique, it also helps you to have a better quality life. You get better sleep, you're able to burn fat easily. Your relationship with people is a lot better if you have higher testosterone because you operate at your optimal self. There might be certain things that you're doing wrongly that might be causing you to have low testosterone. In this video, I'm going to go over 5 things that you probably are doing wrongly that is causing you to have low testosterone. The first thing you're doing wrongly that's causing you to have low testosterone is you're doing too much cardio. I'm an advocate for cardio and I believe every person should be doing cardio. But if you do too much cardio, it could negatively affect your testosterone because excessive cardio increases your cortisol, and your cortisol is your stress hormone. And that is counterproductive for testosterone. I know a lot of people do cardio because they want to lose fat or get rid of stubborn fat, maybe love handles or stomach fat and all that sort of stuff. You should do cardio, but I always tell people not to do excessive HIIT cardio. You want to do steady state cardio instead. Steady state cardio is basically the kind of cardio that you could do at a steady state. So walking on a treadmill at a steady state, not running, walking. You could cycle, you could walk on a Stairmaster. When you do excessive HIIT cardio like running, sprinting, skipping and all that sort of stuff, your body is going to be constantly in a state of fatigue and that will lower your testosterone. Also, if you're constantly in a state of fatigue, you won't be able to perform the best way you can perform in the gym, which would help you build muscle. So you want to do cardio, but do steady state cardio. You can do HIIT cardio, but don't overdo it. Maybe do it once or twice a week. If your goal is to have high testosterone and build a lean muscular physique and not just be slim and slender, you want to limit the amount of high intensity cardio that you do. There's a reason most long distance runners and marathon runners have a very slim and slender physique. This is because they're constantly burning their muscle. They're burning fat, but they're also burning a lot of muscle. That's what happens when you do excessive cardio. You burn fat, but you're also burning muscle. So you want to be active. You don't want to live a sedentary life, but at the same time, you don't want to overwork yourself because you don't want to be in too much of a caloric deficit. That lowers your testosterone and your ability to build a lean muscular physique. Number 2, bad diet. There's a lot of things that go into this. First of all, eating overly processed foods and fast foods. Secondly, not having a balanced diet. And thirdly, not staying hydrated. When you constantly consume these kind of foods like overly processed carbs and fried food, it increases your insulin. And what happens when your insulin is increased? Your testosterone reduces. That way you're more prone to accumulating a lot of body fat, and high water retention, obesity is just not good for you generally. You want to have a balanced diet. I'm not saying don't eat carbs, but I'm saying eat healthy carbs. Instead of overly processed carbs or overly processed sugars, you need sugars as well. You need carbs, you need protein, you need a balanced diet. Eat all these kind of foods, but eat them in a healthy way. So instead of eating crisps and all that sort of stuff, eat potatoes, eat your rice, brown rice. Instead of eating candy when you have a sugar craving, eat fruits instead. Eat your watermelon, eat your apples. Instead of eating overly processed protein, eat real protein, eat steak, eat chicken. And you want to cook your food. You want to eat more cooked food than you do fried food. So you want to have a overall balanced diet. You need all the nutrients that you can get from all types of food. This is why I'm also against overly cutting. A lot of people go into an aggressive cut when they want to lose weight. So they restrict themselves from eating certain kinds of food like carbs and sugars and just eat only vegetables or only protein or only a certain kind of food. You want to have a balanced diet. This would help you build a high testosterone level. So if you're trying to lose weight, you don't want to go into a crash diet where you just overly restrict a lot of your calories and you're not getting enough nutrients for your body to produce a lot of testosterone. This is why a lot of people are skinny fat because they restrict their calories, they don't eat enough, they're probably doing too much cardio, and they're wondering why they're not losing the belly fat. This is because you don't have enough nutrients in your body to be able to produce a high testosterone that would help you burn the belly fat a lot easier. So if you're trying to lose weight, don't go into an aggressive cut. Don't yo-yo diet. Don't go into a bulk phase and then go into a cut phase and just mess up your body's metabolism from trying all sorts of diets and restricting yourself from all sorts of food types. You want to eat carbs, you want to eat your veggies, you want to eat protein, you want to eat sugars as well, but eat them in a healthy version. This way you'll be able to produce enough testosterone, and that would help you burn fat in a healthy way, which would most likely last you a long time. If you go on a crash diet, you might lose the weight, but you're most likely gonna relapse because you've restricted yourself so much and you go into a state of diet fatigue. And then when you start eating these foods again, like carbs and sugars and all that sort of stuff, you overdo it and then you end up gaining the weight back. So if you're trying to lose weight, you still need to be in a caloric deficit, but don't be in a nutrition deficit. So get nutrients from all the food types, but eat them in moderation. You also want to stay hydrated. This is also important for maintaining a high testosterone level. What I do is I put electrolytes in my water. Sometimes just drinking water alone is not enough to hydrate your body properly. So I get electrolytes and I put them in my water. I drink at least 4 liters of water every day. I've got a 4-liter gallon and I just put my water in there and then I put the electrolytes in there and I drink that throughout the day. Sometimes I go over 4 liters, but I make sure I drink at least 4 liters every day with the electrolytes inside. So electrolytes is one supplement that you can take that would help to properly hydrate you and keep your testosterone levels high. Also, you don't want to overconsume alcohol. Alcohol is a diuretic, and what it does is it literally dehydrates you. It sucks the water out of you, and that puts your body in a state of dehydration. And when your body is in a state of dehydration, your testosterone level goes down. So I'm not saying don't have a social life. You could have a glass of wine every now and then. I have a glass of wine myself every now and then, but don't drink every week. Definitely don't drink every day. I drink at least once or twice a month. Alcohol doesn't really have much benefits to your body, so it's not something that I would recommend that you do often. If you need to drink alcohol in a social setting, do it every now and then, especially if you want to lose weight. Drinking alcohol is very counterproductive to that, because when you drink alcohol often, you're literally adding on a lot of empty calories to your diet, and it's very hard to stay in a caloric deficit that way. So have a balanced diet, get nutrition from all food groups, but still eat in a caloric deficit. Stay hydrated, add electrolytes to your water to help with your hydration, and stay away from excessive alcohol consumption. The third reason why you're struggling with low testosterone is stress. This is something that a lot of men go through because I believe a man's life is most of the time very stressful, because there's a lot of things you need to achieve, especially if you're an ambitious man. You need to get to your goals, you need to get things done. And most men have the burden of performance, so you're expected to get things done. So this puts a lot of men in a state of stress. And when you're in a state of stress, your cortisol increases and your testosterone reduces. So my advice on how to manage stress, and this is what I do, is I just don't worry about things that can't be controlled. If you have a problem, do what you need to do to solve the problem. But after you've done what you need to do, you don't need to over stress about it. Because a lot of time when you worry about things, especially if there's nothing you can do about it, all that's going to happen is it's going to affect your health negatively, and the problem most of the time is not going to change or be solved by you worrying about it. I'm not saying be carefree about your problems. Do what you need to do to solve your problems. If you have a problem, think logically, what can I do to solve this problem? And do everything that it takes to solve the problem. And once you've done that, let the outcome be the outcome. When you worry about things that can't be controlled, it affects your sleep, and testosterone is built while you sleep. So if you're having sleepless nights about problems, then you're most likely going to have low testosterone. If you're worrying about things that you can't control, then you won't be able to go about your daily activities that would help you build a high testosterone properly, like eating right and going to the gym and sleeping, like I mentioned earlier. So don't stress about things that you can't change. That's the mentality I have when it comes to dealing with stress. And that's helped me a lot to be able to stay in a calm state of mind. And since I've been doing that, my testosterone levels have gone all the way up. I would also recommend that you take this supplement, which is called ashwagandha. I believe ashwagandha is basically like a magic supplement, because every time I take ashwagandha, I don't know what it does. It's something about ashwagandha that it just makes you carefree. It just puts you in a state of calm, in a zen state. It works for me. I've been taking ashwagandha for about 3 years now, and since I started doing that, I've noticed that I've been able to have a clear mind and focus on the things that I need to focus on. My mind is clear. I could go after my goals without worrying too much about the outcome. Obviously, you still need to have the state of mind to not worry about things that you can't change. But when you take ashwagandha, I find that it helps you to get into that state of mind a lot easier. So I recommend ashwagandha. It would help you limit your stress hormones. I would also recommend magnesium. Magnesium, I take that before I sleep every night. I noticed that since I started taking that, I've been having much better sleep. It's helped me to stay in deep sleep a lot longer than I normally would. So I would recommend you take magnesium as well. Ashwagandha and magnesium. These two supplements have helped me to keep my stress at bay. Ashwagandha for being in a calm state of mind. Generally, I take that in the morning, and then I take magnesium before I sleep at night. Number 4, lack of sunlight. Sunlight gives you vitamin D3, and vitamin D3 is very important for building your testosterone. You can get vitamin D3 from supplements, but also you need to go out and get that from the sun, because that's a natural source. So what I do first thing in the morning when I wake up, I open my windows and get some sunlight to my face. I like to go outside as well, take a walk in the morning. When you're inside, most of the time, you have a vitamin D3 deficiency, and the testosterone suffers from that. When you go outside often, you're more active during the day. And when you're more active during the day, you have a much better sleep at night. And testosterone is built whilst you're sleeping. So if you're indoors all day and not getting enough sunlight, you're probably not being as active as you should be. So I'd advise most people to be active during the day, because when you're active during the day, at night, you get tired. People that work indoors usually suffer from inactivity because they're sitting down on the laptop most of the time, and they're not out there being as active as they should be. And when it's time for bed, you still have all this energy inside you, and what you're gonna do, you're probably gonna stay up late and be on your phone and do all sorts of stuff but sleep. So I would advise most people to wake up in the morning. If you have a work from home job, at least go outside and take a walk. Or in between your breaks, go outside and take a walk. Do something. Get some sunlight. Don't just stay cooped up in the house. It's most likely gonna put you in a gloomy state, because sunlight uplifts your mood. I've had winter blues before. I don't know, most people that live in the UK, if you notice, we are very happy in the summer, and in the winter time, most people are seemingly miserable because the sun is not around very much. I've experienced it myself. So when you can get sun, go out and get some sun. It would uplift your testosterone, uplift your mood, and make you have a much healthier and overall fulfilled life. You can also supplement with vitamin D3 supplements as well. So get sunlight and also supplement with vitamin D3 supplements. But don't avoid the sun. It's very crucial for testosterone. If you think about the most manliest of men that you can think of, people with high testosterone, who do you think of? You think of the construction workers, you think of the police officers, the guys that are out there most of the time under the sun. That's the epitome of masculinity and high testosterone. You don't think about the tech guy who's always in his room on his laptop. That guy's probably not as jacked as the guy that's out there, because the guy that's out there is most likely getting enough sun, and that would indirectly boost his testosterone and give him a much better physique than the guy who's always indoors. So don't avoid sunlight. Number 5, not challenging your muscle. What I mean by this is not training as hard as you can train in the gym, not lifting as heavy as you can lift. Think about the manliest thing you can do. That's lifting weights. So if you want to build a high testosterone level, you can't overlook weight training. You have to lift weights. And when you lift weights, you want to challenge yourself. You want to progressively overload. You don't want to just go to the gym and do the same weights all the time and do easy workouts. You want to challenge yourself. Challenge your muscle to grow. That would boost your testosterone significantly. I used to be one of those guys who would go to the gym and stick with the weights that I'm used to lifting, that I know I could lift. But ever since I started challenging myself in the gym, trying to progressively overload, increase the weight, even if it's by a pound every month or every 2 weeks, I've noticed that my testosterone levels have gone up significantly. So do not neglect weight training and progressively overload when you weight train. You could do more reps that's still progressively overloading. You can lift more weights as well, but don't just go to the gym and do easy workouts. Challenge yourself in the gym. Build muscle. Testosterone goes hand in hand with muscle. Also, when you have a high amount of muscle in your body, it's hard for you to gain fat because muscle and fat don't easily coexist. And the best way to build muscle is by challenging yourself in the gym. So go hard in the gym, lift weights, do your compound exercises. Don't just do isolatory exercises in the gym and do easy workouts. Do your squats, do your bench press, do your deadlifts, do your pull-ups, do your dips. This would help increase your testosterone levels significantly. One supplement that I would recommend to help you perform better in the gym is creatine. Creatine, I believe, is the best natural supplement that you can get to build muscle because it boosts your energy, it helps you go harder in the gym, and it also helps you to recover a lot better. I take creatine at least 30 minutes before my workout, and I notice every time I do that, I'm able to push myself a lot further in the gym. So I take creatine monohydrate. Creatine monohydrate also helps you to look a lot fuller. So your muscle bellies look a lot fuller and it gives you that muscular look. You also want to drink enough water when you take creatine because that's what helps you get that full muscular look. So lift heavy in the gym to boost your testosterone and supplement with creatine for a better workout. If you follow these 5 steps, you'll be able to increase your testosterone significantly. Number 1, don't do too much cardio. Number 2, have a healthy, balanced diet. Number 3, don't stress too much. Number 4, get enough sunlight. And number 5, challenge yourself in the gym. Also, you can supplement with vitamin D3, creatine, magnesium, ashwagandha, and electrolytes for hydration. Don't forget to like the video, comment your thoughts. Feel free to ask me questions about your fitness in the comment section. I'm always available to answer and give advice. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.